We're talking some Detroit Pistons, and we will get to it. But I did tell D-Mac we're talking playoffs. He thinks I'm crazy. He's sticking to his routine and his clock. But I'm not saying playoffs, but other people are.
Who's that?
Some big name guys in national media.
Who that?
One Colin Cowherd.
Okay, I've heard of him.
Detroit Lions can make the playoffs. Jonathan Vilma.
I know who that is.
It's the Detroit Lions can make the playoffs. And this guy's honestly one of my favorites, and I think he's damn good at his job. And a lot of predictions tend to come true in the long run. Short-term predictions kind of hard to make every once in a while. But Dan Orlovsky
also
says this offensive line and DeAndre Swift could lead these Detroit Lions to the playoffs. Spinny, you had them winning 7 games this year.
Yeah.
Are they tripping, or are you changing your prediction a little bit?
No, I think they're still going to win 7 games. I have them right around there. I'll change my prediction if they beat Minnesota this week. I will tell you that.
Yeah.
That would be a huge, huge victory. But it's not crazy. It's not crazy. It's not something. I'm not going to go out on a limb and predict it because I do think that this will come down to earth eventually. But, with this offense, the way it's going, if these guys can stay healthy, I can see with how weak the NFC is, it is possible. It is very possible. I'm not going to say I'm going to predict it, but it is very possible that they could go out there and do it. They could go out there and they could win 9-10 games if this offense stays healthy, if these guys on defense come back, if Aiden Hutchinson continues to produce like he did last week. It's definitely possible. Again, I'm not willing to say that just yet because I'll need to see it. Something too many times before, but I'm excited. It does feel that we've been talking about that all summer. How different this regime feels, how different this year feels, and you got guys talking about it like that. You have Dan Orlovsky, like you said, he is probably my favorite analyst at ESPN, and he made some great points. And if they can stay healthy, it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Let me ask you this actually real quick, because you abused me. You and Nips abused me in the offseason for my me having the 8 wins or 9 wins at that point I was
10.
at. And no, I did not have them at 10. Chill. But nonetheless, a couple teams on the schedule that you had marked as losses. So I had marked as losses as well.
Yeah.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Aren't looking as good as they were. And
they aren't.
I told you guys too, Mac Jones is very much on my questionable quarterback list.
Again,
he has the 32nd ranked QBR this year.
An offense led by Joe Judge and Matt Patricia.
It's also a guy who's
not putting it all on Mac Jones.
Well, I'm not gonna put it all on Mac Jones, but I just never thought Mac very much on the questionable quarterback list. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot to prove in this league. Another team too that officially swung themselves to the questionable quarterback list. Cooper Rush and the Dallas Cowboys, coming off of a bye week, I think just became a winnable game depending on Dak Prescott.
Definitely.
Now they did beat the Bengals. I don't know how the hell that happened.
Because Micah Parsons. And
what did Cooper Rush do in that game? Did he have a big? Do you know, Sam?
I don't think he did a whole lot. That was the Micah Parsons game for sure, though.
Yeah.
I think he had 2 sacks.
Yeah, Micah Parsons is a dog. He's the bee's knees. And I don't want to say Packers yet, but just
Cooper Rush went for 235 yards and a touchdown. So
wow, no picks.
No picks. 19-31.
Did he run the ball at all?
He had one carry for 2 yards.
What a beast! 2 yards?
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
I mean, it's not a big game.
But playoffs. Look, it wasn't in my vision. It wasn't. I wasn't particularly saying it, but I will say, depending on injury, obviously everything's based off health a little bit, but it might be looking a little bit realistic than we think. Phil and Sam, are these guys tripping? These national pundits?
I wouldn't say tripping per se. I wouldn't say playoffs yet. They did save their season from not being a complete disaster last week with the win over Washington, but. Like Spencer said, I'm going to kind of go back to something you said. If they beat Minnesota, if the Lions can beat the Minnesota Vikings.
In Minnesota,
that is the type of game that playoff teams win. That is the type of game where maybe we can have those conversations. Until then, I will say no. I still think at New England and at Dallas is going to be tough, although maybe not as tough as we might have thought, especially Dallas if they have no Dak.
Yes.
But what about at the Giants? Is that going to be as easy as maybe we anticipated? I had that.
Jaguars.
Yes, and the Jaguars. That's another one. The Jaguars are looking like they've, improved quite a bit, and maybe maybe the problem was Urban Meyer. Now that they have Doug Peterson, a Super Bowl winning coach, this is a team that could be pretty formidable. So, but the Lions, if they beat the Vikings, I'm not predicting it or anything. I think this whole Woodward Sports will just it'll be like a party the next week.
It'll implode, yeah.
It will absolutely. And that is the type of win that will even get me, someone who didn't think they would make the playoffs, to actually change my tune a little bit. But you got to win it. You got to win that game first. Like, pump the brakes just a tad,
Get
even
there
though
first,
I'm still on a high from last week like we all are. But I'm still kind of like, playoffs?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
You are looking, the Patriots don't look as good. Obviously, the Cowboys without Dak don't look as good. Those are still games on the road.
Yeah.
And you look at games, like Sam said, that do look a little tougher. The Giants looks like a little tougher matchup. The Jaguars looks like a little tougher matchup. Miami looks like a little tougher matchup.
Welcome to Miami.
Obviously, the Bills, that's not. I don't care. It's not going to happen.
The Giants look tougher than they're like initially supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say my Jags, the Jags I had as a loss.
You did.
You guys abused me for that one too, but they look.
Pretty good.
You know what I'm saying? They're one of the AFC's out right now, I'm just saying. But they obviously still got a season to go. They still have issues to go. The Jets I did have as a loss at some point.
I said they were going to split the New York trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said they were going to split the New York trip, both on the road, both in MetLife. I can't see them winning both of those games. It's tough to win on the road in the NFL.
Yeah.